All right, homesteader family. So I just got back from the ranch. So for the responses of people sending me emails and stuff like that, I haven't gotten back to anybody because ranch, just stuff going on, getting things accomplished, and just busy as all get out trying to get ready for winter. So, as you saw in today's video, which of course was a couple weeks ago, we got a foot of snow. So that's the second storm we've had. A foot of snow. Only had two storms, so a foot each time. Uh, Tomorrow afternoon into Wednesday, they're calling for snow starting at 4,500 feet and accumulation starting at 5,800 feet. And of course, I live here at 8,500. The ranch is at 92 to 9460. So it looks like we're going to get hit with snow again. And the surprise I have is I have some mouses in my house. Not one, not two, but all three of them. So let me flip this around real quick. So we got Miss Minnie Mouse right here, which she's always home because one thing I forgot to tell you guys last week was she was in heat and Mickey tied with her probably a good 10 times. So she definitely should have some babies inside of her. So she'll be due December 15th to December 18th. And then we got Mr. Maximus Boogs. This is the puppy. He'll be 1 years old come next month, halfway through. And we got the daddy, Mr. Mickey Mouse. Right, Mickey Mouse? So say we got all three mouses in the house. Hustle because Max didn't want Mickey jumping on Minnie while she was in heat, and they got into some fights. He wanted to play, Mickey didn't want to play, Mickey wanted to do something else. So it was kind of wild. I walked by the pond, yelling the dog's name, trying to find Minnie, trying to find Mickey. Get down to the pond and find out that they're stuck together. And I never knew that dogs get stuck together. So for those of you that don't know what happens or what it kind of looks like, I made a little video that you'll see coming up in the future on it. And now that she's pregnant, she's all lovey-dovey and wants all the attention in the world. Isn't that right, babe girl? Yes, get all that attention in the world. So, for those of you wondering why I've been camping at the ranch, is because I got some shelters that I started, which you'll see the video tomorrow of me doing the fence waltz and tearing the fence down to where the shelters are going to be. Of course, I already framed the pads up. Of course, trying to level out a 26-foot pad by myself was impossible. So, of course, they're not level because I'm not expertise at any of this. I'm not a perfectionist. So, I get it how I want it and I call it good. So, today, what I started doing was I started mortaring. And, of course, the mortar went from like that to now it's like 5-6 inches tall. So I'm thinking about halfway down I'll be able to put another block under and then have a buried block or something like that. I don't know. But I also ran PEX in the floor. I'm going to do a solar heater on top of the roofs. I poured two pads. So for those of you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter that follow, you've seen the different pictures coming out. When I get done this video, I'll be putting up a picture of the rebarring, the mortaring, and the blocks that I got set. Tomorrow I'll be filling those blocks with concrete. And I'm just going to take my time, work my way down the pad. I'm not going to try to knock the whole thing out in one day and overexert myself. Another great thing that's doing all this work is I'm not having to do all this work. You know, I used to have to do everything by hand. It was so hard tears up my body, my back, my neck, everything else, and just wears me out. Now, since I have that tractor, I take a pallet, put the pallet right up to the blocks on the truck, slide the blocks right onto the pallet. Don't even have to pick them up. Take them over to the pad, sit the pallet all the way down to where I need it, and just move the block right off the pad into its spot, so on and so forth. The concrete, it's just so easy and so relieving to not have to do all that work like I've been doing for all these years trying to get stuff done. Updates on the ranch. Had a lot of stuff happen. Had a lot more. Yeah, I keep sticking my tongue in here. I'm starting to stress with my grandfather. So I've got an ulcer right inside my lip right here. And it hurts rubbing up against my teeth. I haven't had ulcers in my mouth since military, when I used to stress in the military. Um, but my grandfather's bringing some stress to my life lately. He's not having good days, good weeks right now. But I'm also stressing or getting fed up with people not owning up to their word. That's a whole nother topic for another day. Uh, but the septic people, they finally came out. They did a perk test. I don't know if it was on last week's video or it happened after last Monday vlog. But they came out, dug the holes, did the perk test, did the soil analysis. They sent that away. I should hear back in about a week and a half. As soon as that gets all accomplished, they'll come out, get measurements, give me a quote for doing the septic, and get the septic system put in. So hopefully that will be done by the end of November. The well people sent me the paperwork for the well permit. It cost $100 for the well permit and paperwork that they filled out for me. I just had to sign and I think initial something and then mail it to Denver. So that's on its way. They're going to be out there the second to third week of November doing somebody else's place. So they said my paperwork should be done in about a month. So since I sent in last week or week before, it should be there by then. And they're going to squeeze me in and try to have the well done by the end of November. Also got an electrician. They came out. They did a temporary outlet, or not temporary, a permanent outlet box on the junction pedestal. And we went over what my electrical needs are going to be, what I'm thinking of doing, how I want to set the ranch up. And just got done paying like 44 or 4,500, something like that. Of course, I get some of that money back, so it breaks it down to 4,200 after a year. To have the electric company put the pedestal in, the transformer, and all that type of stuff. Well, needless to say, talked to electric companies and haven't heard back from most of them. And the one that came out and did that electric outlet box on the pedestal has quoted me basically, let's just round it to $8,000. So $8,000 to do the electric. Now, you're probably thinking, wow, that's a lot of money. Well, that's going to include a lot of stuff. So they're going to come out. They're looking at Friday at coming out with the trencher. And they're going to trench from the pedestal behind where I'm digging the house. It's going to come down the driveway. It's going to have an offshoot that goes to the gates at the parking lot, to put 2 floodlights on top of the gate post with motion sensor. So that way I have lights in the parking lot for when people come, when people leave, stuff like that, if I have to walk out to the gates. And then it's going to continue from the house site all the way down the other curve of the driveway. And then it's going to be in the center of the driveway all the way around, down past the pond, all the way up to where the camper trailer is. Now, it's going to dead end at the camper, which will have the 30 amp breaker panel and all that type of stuff for the camper, so I don't have to run a generator to run the camper and everything inside the camper. I'm going to have an offshoot um, to where the root cellar and ice house will eventually be in years to come. I'll have an offshoot to the pond so I can have a bubbler or something going for the pond this winter to keep the pond from freezing like they use down at the docks. Uh, the 4 or 5 shelters I'm going to end up building over time. Each of them will have electric poles, so they're going to just run the wires for all that. So that's all set up. And it's just going to be a 2 plug outlet. One for the pump for the solar hot water heater that I'm going to build on the roof of each one, and an extra plug for whatever else I need, maybe a light, something like that. Um, and then that's pretty much it. The house electric, and I'm going to be doing a hot tub inside the house eventually, so I'll have all the wires from the house that can do all that type of stuff. So that's the electric part. So Friday they're looking at coming in trenching. What I'm going to be doing is they're going to trench, and they're going to like a week before they do the electric. And the reason why is because I'm going to buy a bunch of PEX pipe, the connectors. I'm going to buy the frost-free valves that are the 4 foot stems. And I'm going to run all the plumbing down first. Then I can fill that in because at the shelters, at the camper trailer, the pond, different places, I'm going to have these taps that once the plumbing and everything gets hooked up, I'll be able to have, say, a 25 or 50-foot garden hose on different taps. And I'll have a hose tap to clean out animal shelter. I'll have a tap to do stuff up at the camper trailer, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to get all the plumbing done first. Then I'm going to backfill to 2 feet. Then they put the electric in at 2 feet. And they said I can help um, do some work with them. So the least amount of time that they're there, or the less amount of time they're there, the less I get charged. So that's nice that they're going to work with me and try to save me money. Whoops, almost lost the phone there. So hopefully I'm not paying the full $8,000. I can whittle that down. And of course, when they're done electric, I've got a tractor, so I can run the tractor to backfill all the trenches. So they're not going to have to do that, bring up a tractor or anything like that, because I already had that. So that should save a lot of time, a lot of transportation. They're not going to have to haul heavy equipment up, except the trench, and that's pretty much it on that front. So for now, tomorrow I gotta go back town, pick up more supplies. I'm gonna try to work more on the shelter. My goal is try to have all the concrete work done before December, and by December 1st, have the roof on the first shelter. Now, the shelter is 26 by 8, and I'm cutting it in half, so it's like 13 by 8. And then, of course, with the cinder blocks, that cuts down, so the measurements are smaller. But that will give me 2 rooms for 2 separate shelters on the same pad. And the second pad, I'll start working on that shelter next fall and try to have that one done by next winter. And that will give me 4 concrete shelters. And then at that point, I can tear down the wooden one that I threw together last year. That looks like crap. That is wide open, gaping holes at the bottom, everything else, and start giving the animals the comfort and care and luxury that they deserve, like this one right here. Right, Maximus? Max, what are you doing, boogies? There goes Mickey Mouse. Then we got Minnie Mouse down here. But this is the life of the animals, and everything's been going the ranch with all that. I decided to uh, take a slight risk, bring all the dogs home. All the dogs been sleeping in the camper trailer while we've been staying there, and nothing's happened. So I think one night here at the house with all three, they should be fine. And then, like I said, tomorrow we'll be back over there. I'll be camping again for another couple days, try and get all the concrete work done, the mortaring, all that type of stuff. And so, if you don't hear from me, don't panic. I'm not dead. I'm not dying. I haven't closed up shop because I got some people worried that I wasn't responding. It's because I'm at the ranch. I have no service. I have no electricity. I have no internet. And I'll get back to you as soon as I get back here. So tonight I'll be responding to everybody. Like I said, I'll be putting photos up when I get done with this video. And the other big news, which is just blowing my mind, is all the new subscribers. So I want to say welcome to the journey, welcome to the family, and thank you for subscribing, commenting, just the views, the numbers. I mean, my that firewood video that everybody either likes or they hate. I mean, I came home, I had like 9 um I don't want to say vile, but not nice comments, you know. People telling me I needed a haircut and I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm stupid and all that jazz. And I like it because I've had like 4 or 5 of those comments now that say, I never comment on videos, but on your video I made an exception because you're a dumbass or what have you. So I love it because those people don't comment for nobody else, but they comment for me. And I feel the love, I feel the appreciation, even though you're not meaning it that way. But I want to thank everybody for all the comments. The channel is up to like 347. So from when I did that video at like, I don't even remember, but I got like another 15 or 20 subscribers in like another 24 hours. And my minutes for the past 28 days was 27,000. Now I'm up over 55,000. So I mean, it's just it's amazing, and it's not me, it's you guys. And I really appreciate everybody out there for sending out to friends and family, sharing the journey. And I'm glad I'm that entertaining. And Max and everybody else is that entertaining to be able to keep your attention. So tomorrow will be a good video. You'll see how aggressive my llama is. Look at that big old tongue. You'll see how aggressive Miracle was. I've been working with him. He'll let me come up to the fence, give him kisses. He still wants to spit, but we're working on it. So hopefully one of these days, who knows, he might be in here cuddling with the dogs. Maybe me. So hope everybody has a great night, and I'll catch you guys later.